Speaking of kidnapping, which one of the following names will be next to accuse me of kidnapping their children? Raka Khan. You had Saraya, accompanied by Ruby Soso and Tony Storm.
Please say you watched this.
Yes, I did.
Oh, thank God.
Well, I mean, I didn't take notes on it. I just watched it against Willow Nightingale, who was very happy to be there. She's got an infectious personality.
She's all right. You know what? I don't think she was the problem with any of this.
But it style clash, what's going on was, and I understand that Saraya was out for a while, had a bad neck, would have probably had to modify her style to make sure she doesn't get injured again. But wouldn't one think that the ring rust, if that was indeed the problem, would have been scoured off by now? This didn't look good for AEW women's wrestling, did it?
It was not good, and Saraya specifically did not look good in the ring. And I think there's sometimes, without having gone through her medical records or anything, I think sometimes maybe a promoter or a booker, you tell me, you have to be able to tell a wrestler, I know you really want to do this. Maybe physically you shouldn't anymore. Not you can't, but you just shouldn't. And, unless it's just ring rust that inexplicably is there like this. I mean, she grew up around wrestling and everything. I mean, that's the thing we always hear. It was specifically not a good performance.
Well, and then to be honest with you, even if you could have hoped for the best on this program, was it a good idea to give Saraya and Willow Nightingale that much time?
No, I would have booked, actually, if you wanted to do a match with Willow Nightingale, even if you wanted to go that amount of time, and I don't think I would have gone that amount of time, put her in there with Tony Storm. I bet you it would have been better. So, I mean, they chose Saraya for this match. I don't know why. This would not have been the opponent I would have put her in there.
Well, because Tony doesn't understand. He doesn't understand, but part of the art of being a booker, not a writer, because the writers don't understand and because they haven't been in that position. Before, you need to know that sometimes, even if you think, well, people might like the idea of this match, you've got to be able to see that maybe having that match wouldn't be a good idea for one or both participants and stay away from it. But if
you're going to do it, give it 3 minutes.
Yes. And then see what happens. And then maybe if you like what you got there, you could bring it back and give them a little more time sometime in the future. Nevertheless, Saraya won, obviously. And then here comes, out of nowhere, Hikaru Shida with a kendo stick. Before the heels can spray paint Willow, Hikaru Shida rolls in and faces off with the heels and then drops the stick and gives the heels a big hug. And they give her the paint can, and they're holding Willow Nightingale so she can paint her. But then here are Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter that roll in the ring behind the heels and take them out. And at least Ruby and Tony. And then suddenly Shida sprays Saraya in the face, picks up the cane, and canes the shit out of the heels. What the fuck is going on here?
This was so ridiculous. It was humorous because it was unnecessary. The swerve. By the way, Tony Schiavone literally called it a swerve on commentary after it, which defeats the purpose. But this was all silly, and Hayter and Britt Baker roll in the ring. Britt Baker was held down and had the crap kicked out of her, traumatized. Her husband or her future husband was there, handcuffed. She just gets in there smiling. They're waiting for their moment. After they start beating up the two on the ends, there's a gap. Saraya just stares at Shida. They did a close-up of Shida, so you can't see Saraya, but if you're counting, you're like, Saraya's still standing in front of her, and then she spray paints her in the face.
Yeah.
Saraya jumped right into the cane shot. That was, noticeable.
She jumped into it, but she put her forearms in the middle at the same time. She was protecting the tatas.
The hardest discussion in wrestling that no one wants to have is the idea that there are too many women on TV that don't belong, and more than likely, AEW probably doesn't need a women's division.
And quit giving them kendo sticks. It's bad enough with the guys, but then here's another thing you're just devaluing. If this 125-pound girl can wear out another 125-pound girl with a kendo stick and they just run off, then how dangerous is the kendo stick? It hurts for no reason.